Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Shri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra. And hey, thanks for waiting. Worth the wait. Today is huge. It is a big moment. And you know, before we go any further, let's just bring our hands to our heart, because we're going to dive right into the April calendar, show you what's going on. Remember that heart, that full heart moon is already coming into our experience of allness. And the law of instantaneous manifestation has gone on to steroids. We're going to talk about how that's affecting everything as well. So Shri, why don't you guide us in an Ave Sa breath?
Absolutely. Beloved ones, let's come together right here in this present moment by using the breath as the gateway to our ascended state.
Yeah.
Focusing Ave, hail, recognizing the divine on the inhale. Let's try that right now. Ave and Sa. When we exhale with that sigh, we release all resistance to that divine. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. You got it? Let's do it together.
Ave Sa. And remember the smile.
Sa.
Remember the smile. All right.
Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ave. Sa. Ave. Sa.
Wow, there we are. And I want you to just see what's right there. Co-creative power. Remember, that was the March opening, the March experience that anchored in that extraordinary moment of that March full moon, which was that second of two crystalline moons in a row. Now, very unusual, has not ever happened before. And what's even more extraordinary is that as we are plummeting, and I mean it's a plummet, it's kind of like a, oh my God, there it is, I'm coming, get ready. You know, it's like I'm landing, have the landing strip ready, because that's what Friday's about. So Shri, let's pop up the April up-level calendar.
All right, let me find
let's
that.
dive right into this, because you really want to look at what's going on. And guys, miracle presence, miracle presence. Remember, what's that formula? Sincerity plus love plus presence equals miracles, all hyphen ways. Write it down, put it everywhere. Sincerity plus love plus presence equals miracles, all ways. Shri, let's go to that April up-level calendar.
Well, I want to tell you something. Our computer did an update and we lost the setup, so I'm going to go find it on the hard drive.
And here's going to go find that for you, because
This
that's
is
really
crazy
important.
stuff.
So while he's looking for that, do you have any of the April? It looks like you had none. The April Ascended Numerology was no longer here as well. Let me see what I want to show them that maybe will help. Let's go to the density trifecta. Let's go right there. Okay. So here's what's going on. And we've been talking about this. If you've been with us at all of our shows, you already know this. Consciousness itself is always around us. So go to yourself and look through where it says self-sabotage right there. And you see that beautiful you? You are the absolute 0-point energy generator. You are that being, that which you see through the self-sabotage, that igniter of the Taurus field that is continually yours to call forward, is literally constantly creating. Remember, co-creative power. And so in this experience, the density trifecta that sustains and creates that self-sabotage cycle is made of the energies of fear, doubt, and hesitancy that actually become the power generator of the victim triangle. Have we been muted the whole time?
I'm not sure, but we are unmuted right now for sure.
Okay, so we are so sorry. My husband just realized. So you're probably just watching us talk going, I don't hear him, do you? So it's 11:11. Let's go back to live. I think 11:11 was a really good time for my husband to remember he had the mute button on.
Well, you know, it's been an interesting tech morning, but here I have the up-level calendar.
All right, so I love it. It's 11:11. I am really sorry none of you got to hear everything we said. And so let's see.
Okay.
I'm also not seeing anything from Jess. Jess, I need to know that you're here. We've been trying to text you as well. So let's just stop before we go any further, and we're going to reboot because we were muted the entire time, right, Sri?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's bring our hands to our heart. I love it. 11:44 when I said that. Yes! Let's bring our hands to our heart. I want to relaunch. This is my husband, wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka. I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and I'm jumping right in because that's how powerful this moment is. It's about co-creative power. That co-creative power that came in with that full moon in March. Wow. And just said that you guys have been hearing us just fine. And that came in at 11:11. Good, because we're going to go the April calendar then. And I hope you guys are laughing with us because what a wild day. So Sri, let's put up that calendar.
All right, so I'm going to drag it right on the home screen here so that you all can see it. And
there it is. Okay. So the second harmonic is expanding all. Just breathe that in. Right? Just breathe that in.
So let's take a breath. The second harmonic expands all as we effortlessly call forward the sacred union of the body with the conscious awareness of our divine mastery presence. The sustaining experience of energy, momentum, and co-creative power illuminates our lives continually.
I want you to write that down. Those of you that have this calendar, go print out this calendar, put it up, be reading this constantly, right? Because it is that sacred union of the body with the conscious awareness of our divine mastery presence. I'm going to say it again. It is the sacred union of the body with the conscious awareness of our divine mastery presence. Why is that so important? Because look at the ascended consciousness energy of this month. This entire month is about experience. This entire month. And this past week, gaze specifically at Wednesday. Remember, Wednesdays are going to be really pivotal this week. They're going to be that center of that expanded Taurus field of that ignited presence that I was just showing you as part of that victim energy of density consciousness that right now, that self-sabotage cycle this past week was the law of instantaneous manifestation on steroids. If it was real, it showed up in your life last week. So you really want to be taking an assessment. Now look at today, April 10. As you look at today, I want you to just kind of maybe bring your eyes back from the calendar a little much. And as you are, close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Taking another one of those beautiful deep Ave breaths. And on the exhale, open your eyes and notice where you're called. Notice where you're called on the calendar. And I want to bring you to the 13th. The reason I want to bring you to the 13th right now is because the 1 plus the 3 will always be the 4, the perfect balance. And when you gaze at the calendar, if you look at 13, you will see that what it is the amplifier. Everything that happened last week, everything that's going on is there. And so now what's happening is that this week, it is all starting to grow through your ability to sustain steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and absolutely complete trust. This week is about that because when that full heart moon anchors this Saturday, before we speak to each other again, and when we speak to each other again next week, make a note in your calendar now, we will be in the rich energy of that full heart moon in the power of the 17. So next week, we are going to be doing a lineage holder. We're going to call everybody who's at this show, let everybody know. The power of April 17 is so critical. There will be pilgrimages beginning that day. There are pilgrimages beginning now. There are collectives that are starting the walk that will literally wind up here at Tosa Blue Mountain on September 22nd. And this is happening with Chief Phil. This is happening with the incredible women of the Abya Yaya that I am so humbly blessed to have been invited to start connecting with and being one with. It has just been an extraordinary week of miracles. And you know, Sri, I think before we go any further into the manifestations that we're going to be showing with you and all the other things that are happening, I think we should talk about the miracle of Friday. You know, what happened on Friday and our meeting with Raul and the miracles that are unfolding. Yeah. Because remember, it's our co-creative power from that March that is giving us that, hey, landing ahead this Friday, I'm coming in. Let's do this.
Absolutely. Well, it's been an amazing week of manifestations. And I think each and every one of you, if you take a look at your lives, you're going to see that things have been lining up in some way that is supportive of your journey. Now, for us, we happen to have a wonderful meeting with the mayor of Paute, and Paute is the community here we're part of. And he was sharing with us that he has a project that's dear to his heart to help people in need receive safe housing, because there are people that just simply don't have housing. And
we're talking cardboard boxes living up here where we live.
Yeah, and just using cardboard, mud walls, and plastic to protect themselves. And so what he shared was there was a nonprofit association in the U.S. that had promised to help him, and they simply, after agreeing, and he put it all together, something happened. They walked away.
They just walked away. And so on Friday night, we had the blessing of being invited to his stunning home. Oh my gosh, the most stunning home you've ever seen. That, oh my God, is for sale. If you want to move here and be on the top of the mountain overseeing everything, let us know. Gorgeous. And so as we were in his beautiful, stunning home, he shared with us about this project. And Sri, do we have some pictures we can show?
Yet,
Not yet. Okay. So if you go to SriandKira.com right now, and right there on the homepage, click on the Indigenous projects. Also, Jess, go ahead and start putting the link in the chat over at YouTube. For a little bit of money, for $4,500, we are able to build for these beautiful beings a micro home. And here in our world where we live, we do not have Habitat for Humanity. What we have is the community Minga of living with the indigenous. And so you want to talk about what a Minga is,
Minga
Shri?
is a wonderful, wonderful way.
And you can look up on the web what Minga is, M-I-N-G-A.
So what's up is that Minga is, in the U.S., it's the equivalent of kind of like a barn raising. Mm-hmm. Only here, it's a regular process where the community comes together to support community projects. Now, those projects could be maintenance of the streets. It could be maintenance of whatever. And in this case, it's building a house for this grandmother and her granddaughter to have safe housing.
Now, I want to share with you that, here at Tosa Blue Mountain, we are the only non-Kenyati that live here. And we, every month, participate in the Minga because of what we call our Moat. Our beautiful, free-flowing water that goes through our property is actually an original Incan canal, which actually it's older than that. The Incan just kept improving it the way we all are. And every month, we all come together and perform Minga, that this canal has been in continuous flow for thousands of years, feeding all the farms in this valley. And the reason is because of Minga. Minga is when we all come together, and so we are allowed to take as much water as we need to farm and to take care of our land, as long as it keeps flowing to our neighbor. And so it's the true form of community sharing. So when our beautiful Mayor Raul came to us, you might remember him. He was in the video with Dana. He comes here regularly for treatments, is a big supporter of the clinic. When he asked us for this money, Shri and I just said yes, and personally said we're just going to make sure this happens. However, your donations may know. Huh?
Let's see if I can make it bigger.
Yeah. So this was the proposal the mayor handed to us, and you can see this is what this 73-year-old grandmother who is on disability and her 13-year-old granddaughter live in.
So I'm sorry, I can't make this bigger on the fly.
We hope you can see it.
But what they're showing is the mud walls of an old shack that's covered with plastic, and there's one bed and a little table, and these people are being rained on. Their health is jeopardized, and they are worthy of a little love and support.
Yes.
And so what we learned, I'm going to scroll forward. I want to show you the picture of this little house.
Is this the cutest little house we're building? Is this so exciting? And the Minga, we're all getting together. This is going to be built. So help us build
this little house, the material cost is just right around $4,000, just a little higher. And then the community's coming together to build it over a couple of 3 weekends. It'll be built.
So imagine for $4,000, $4,500. $500, we have a solution. And Sri, show them the floor plan because it's just too cute. It's just too cute. It's this
look
fabulous.
At that. I just learned how to zoom.
Oh my God, Sri, zoom
God.
in. All right. So not only is that the cutest little thing, look, they each get their own bedroom.
A little micro house with 8-foot square bedrooms.
And a little porch.
A little porch and all that.
And a bathroom with running water where they can take a shower every day. Donations go. April 27th, please join us. Get to ShriandKara.com. Find out what's going on. The world is becoming a better place because of you.
Yes.
That drop in the water of consciousness is happening at a moment when, if it's real, it's happening. And this was handed to us Friday night. And we have had other miracles this week as well, and other projects that we are committing to as part of the foundation.
You know, it's really important to recognize it's not so much about any one project or any one recipient. It is about the flow of trusting the universe with abundance and sharing, to give, to receive, and to be grateful for the capacity to give and receive.
You know, I remember when Sri and I first moved to Uruguay. And we lived in this beautiful 200-year-old home. And I actually know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and have rain coming in on you. Because those first few weeks we were there were very, very rough. And we barely had a bathroom. We were pretty much camping. I had a 1930s gas stove that when I turned it on, I almost burned myself to death. And so I do know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and to not have any other options. Sri and I were blessed to have options. These women have no options, and they are indicative of others. And one of the things we hope to achieve through your generosity is to also take video and document that you don't need to have a formal housing for humanity. You don't have to, or a Habitat for Humanity. What you need is a bunch of people with skills willing to say yes. And we're prototyping that for $4,500, we can bring these people into a standard of living that creates joy and harmony. And so we do want to share with you the other utilization of your generosity. And please, we need your generosity. And as part of this incredible moment through Chief Phil and our affiliations, we have been invited to assist an Amazonian tribe in Putumayo up near the Colombian-Ecuadorian border. And the chief of this tribe has been able to call forward the elders of the Amazon that do not travel, that do not come forward, that will come out because of this generosity that is coming in through Tosa Blue Mountain. And they will all meet for the first time here September 20th through the 22nd at Tosa Blue Mountain. If you want to be here live, let us know. We are almost at capacity because all of the elders are staying here as well. We will be getting an outside hotel, but if you want to stay on site, you're going to have to book really soon. There's a lot happening, guys.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, just let's take a breath for a moment.
Yeah, because we got a lot to share with these revelations, which is why we're sharing this, because this all came together last week.
So as we just breathe for a moment, feeling our bodies, feeling the center of your chest where your heart is located.
Yes, yes, yes.
Each breath can activate the heart.
Yes.
Each breath can expand the peace. And as you just touch in with that right now, in an instant, we are in the meditative state.
Yes.
Spiritual life is not complicated. It's simply the choice to be in that communion, to be able to say to your divine nature, guide me. To say guide me to our divine nature opens up the highest possible expression for the next moment, as opposed to react with the emotional-based flight and fight syndromes and all of the stuff that comes from some of the biology we carry, right? Yes, and our world gets reactive and fearful. Oh, yeah. So having conscious breath at your disposal and a smile, we come to a place of knowing that our presence is radiating a peacefulness and a trust into the planetary thought body. Now, this is the piece I wanted to remind us about.
Yes.
Our planetary thought body is literally an energetic, it's like a cellophane, it's like a stratosphere that goes all the way around the Earth. And it's filled with the free-floating emotional content that has been discharged over much time. It takes time for it to actually dissipate. How often in our world are there tragic events that are pulsing fear, panic, and grief and these emotions into the planetary thought body? And it's okay to have those experiences. However, we need to clear that energy and move back to balance.
Yes.
So to move back to balance is really a choice of an ascended being.
Yes. In every way. And it's the choice that we can make easily. We really can.
And so as we talk about these projects that we're involved with, they're really miracle projects that are creating a ripple effect of harmony, resolution, and healing into the world. And so we're going to show you a little bit about the Iwana Collective here in a moment.
Can we show it now?
Yes, but that's not the one that'll display it. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, so it is.
Here we go.
All right. So taking a breath and meet one of the most beautiful groups of women that we have met recently. There it is, the Iwana Collective. Let's scroll, or is it just one?
No, we can scroll through the pages.
Okay, so let's scroll, please. So you can see that the Iwana Collective wants to generate its own economy. This is based on the knowledge of the Quechua, which is where we are. These are the people. This is part of the $9,000 commitment that Clinical Linda Foundation has made to this team to get this project moving, to get them cell phones, to get them connected. Shri, go to the next page. We're going to show you really quickly. Check this out. And we don't have to go much further than this, other than these women are creating real indigenous jewelry with a purpose. They are gardening. They are working together. You see what they are doing. And so we can go to, and you can see what's happening here. And this beautiful group is, we can go back live now, is coming together and part of the support of Clinical Linda to assist them to build their own gardens. And we are going to be working closely with them as well. We will be organizing off-site adventures if you want to go to the Amazon with this. This is not the most, this is very remote, somewhat dangerous territory. It is on the Colombian Ecuadorian border. So when we will go, it will probably just be like a one journey. It will not be a regular journey kind of thing. However, it is our intention, our sacred intention, to establish regular contact. And we will be bringing a Clinical Linda up to this village as well. And of course, we'll be keeping you posted on all of that.
Now, one of the reasons that this project captures our heart of passionate action is that we recognize that the legacy of the indigenous peoples on this planet and every continent has been dismissed in large part by modern society, and to the peril of the quality of life on planet Earth.
Exactly.
So this isn't about taking any one teaching. It's about recognizing that when we disenfranchise a people, when racism flourishes, when other forms of judgment and dismissal flourish in human consciousness, it creates separation in our shared experience, thereby creating more disharmony and pain that we literally inhale as beings participating in this planetary energy. So each time we offer an act of kindness, each time that we give from a place of abundance, we are setting in motion a coherent flow on our planet.
Right.
So it isn't about the charity, it's about the flow, yet the charity is lovely.
And I want to strike the word charity from Shri's vocabulary, because this isn't charity. What we're doing is we are inviting these people to realize of their own projects for self-sustaining experience. We are not just giving money. This is very much about the projects. And equally, I'm very excited that Jess and I have been talking about a microloan program for some of the women up here, the indigenous women up here. Again, a small microloan makes a difference in someone's life. And for all you know, you're birthing the next magnificent gift to humanity. And so your donations really matter. And the kindness that we are experiencing here is going all around the world. Right now, this is happening in Ecuador, but it will very shortly be happening in Mexico. And I do want to share with you that Shri and I have booked our tickets. You want to go round trip in and out of Cancun, but June 18 to 23 with an extension to bring you through 25. We will be in the Yucatan. We will be having an incredible experience, not only at Chichen Itza and some other very sacred sites, but we will be consecrating the land at Lowell Bay. And this will be a worldwide event. Chief Phil is going to be there. The elders are on their way. This is major. For the first time since his father's transition 6 years ago, Cesar Mena will perform the opening ceremony to clear this land. And I want you to really breathe that in. So we don't have all the details on the web yet because Cesar is waiting for one more final confirmation from a hotel. But our waiting list is long. Get in it. Just send us an email. Let us know if you want to be the first to hear it. And we will receive it, get it out to you. And wow, this is really becoming something.
Truly an opportunity to combine some recreation with some spiritual upliftment and be part of a consecration ceremony that will ignite your DNA as we clear this land and lift into a higher sense of unity and communion.
And remember, this is part of 2022. This is why this is so important. It is that March equinox, the September equinox, as you know, is behind us. You've seen this graphic many times. Right now, what's coming up this Friday is this Friday, we're going to anchor that full heart moon in this crash landing of our crystalline nature. So I want you to consider what's going to happen on the planet. This is very much going to be like an in-your-face moment. So this week is very much about in your face. We're going. Here it is. Keep it rolling. And remember that this is neutral. I am here as the sea of neutrality sustains the neutral presence of our co-creative power at a moment where that imbalance is still not balanced. You know, let's just remember again the fear dimension. And I want to share it with you because you might not have remembered this. It's been a while since you've seen it. But this is extremely important to understand. So as you gaze at this is the best I can do in creating these graphics, right? So the third dimension, we are always on the spiral. It is an eternal spiral. It is, you are always spiraling up, or you are spiraling down, or you are spiraling laterally, but you can never mess this up. You will never leave the spiral, ever. And we all are eternal with it. This was one of the greatest visions of my near-death experience way back in the late 80s. Was the first time I died of cancer, was this eternal spiral and the experience of it. The third dimension, just for the sake of showing you how this fear dimension arose, because this is the new, this is what caused the imbalance. And you know, Shri and I have been talking about this now for almost 5 years, that this imbalance came in because the fourth dimension, and you see how that fifth dimension energy is huge. It kind of like overlaps the seventh. You see that there, how the middle of the fifth dimension is wider. Okay. And that the third dimension is a little smaller and the fourth dimension is kind of like hiding. The reason being is when the fourth dimension collapsed, the planetary thought body started sending out its own pulse wave that is now even being felt in the fifth dimensional. Archangel Zadkiel calls it the waiting room. So it's being felt in that fifth dimensional waiting room. So this has become its own pulse wave, this fear dimension. And you see, it's like this watery ocean of fear that is everywhere. And this is, Shri and I talked about this 2 years ago, that when fear itself became an ascension symptom, because that watery energy, that fear dimension pulse wave is going after consciousness itself. And this is why understanding the fear dimension relaxes the left brain enough to release that grip on consciousness that does permeate even fifth dimensional mutations. And I want to share something about this before I turn it over to Shri, because you really want to understand how the levels of consciousness of fear are playing into this really dramatically. I mean, really dramatically. And I want to share, and I think this is really Shri and I this past week as well. Remember, this past week was like boom, 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 boom. And if it's real, it's coming in this week. this past week, we actually got to see this in action. And you know what? I'm going to show it to you one more time as I explain it, because I want you to really get this, because this is really important. So I think you might be able to see, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but I want you to look where it says planetary thought body. Okay, so you see that in red there. So the planetary thought body is basically the collective sloughing of all of our energy, which is why the container practice is so important. If you don't know what that is, go to ShriandKara.com, get it. It's free. Start using it, because the utilization of the container practice is the signal to the universe that we have arisen our consciousness to be responsible for this energy. Every time you slough energy, positive or negative, it becomes the planetary thought body. It's the reason you can walk into a room and not understand why you don't feel well, or you go somewhere and feel better, or come back somewhere and don't. It's because of the way you interface with the planetary thought body in that experience. Through the planetary thought body, because the fourth dimension collapsed many years ago. If you don't know what we're talking about, get to our YouTube channel, Official Shrinkira, search Collapse of Fourth Dimension, watch the video. And so when that fourth dimensional collapse happened, the squeezing of the planetary thought body and the immediacy, it was like everything was in your face, right? So the way Shri and I describe it is, it's like walking through a balloon. It's like putting a balloon over your head and it's running out of air, and you've got to literally push your face through the plastic. That created a fear dimension of extraordinary power. And it's those, you see those tips there, like the heartbeat of the fear dimension going into the fifth dimension, and you see that C behind it? Okay. That is essentially the bay outside of the sea of neutrality that is all around the heart. And so the heart of density right now is very confused. Love is fear. Fear is love. People love you enough to murder you. People love you enough to tell you why they're worried about you. People want to save you. Dogma becomes huge. Fundamentalism rises. All because of the imbalance of love. Yeah. And this is why this, if I point down here, this is why this April full moon, we don't have this graphic, do we? I wish we did. This is why this April full moon is so important right now, because for the first time, we have got a heart moon that is anchoring through this crash landing of crystalline energy. This is literally, guys, like standing, taking your spear and sticking it into the planet and feeling the light crack. That's where we're at. Mm-hmm. You've got it. All right, great. Let's throw it.
I'm not sure. Honey.
Yes, you do. It should be that one.
All right. Let's drag it on.
No, the other one. Well, try that one first, but I was pointing to that one.
Yeah, they're the same.
Okay. There it is. There it is. Okay, so this is our background right now. So yeah, thank you, Shri. Let's make it as big as we can. We don't need that blue border that the other one was borderless. There we go. Okay, so what you're staring at right now is what's happening. I'm so glad we had this. This is why it's our background. First thing you notice is that nice, beautiful full moon up in the top right of the screen, right? Remember that this entire year, 2022, is all about, can humanity survive dogma? So I want you to just really breathe that in, because that's the overarching energy. And remember that all these energies are building. If you have not been to ShriandKara.com, to our articles section recently, go back and get caught up from January forward. Start reading. In February, it was the ignition and the acceptance of our alchemical transformation as a species. Due to that, March, expansion of consciousness. In a year where our energy and co-creative power create the momentum, and that momentum is already there. These three energies have been pulsing all year. However, they're going to get the final amp, right? As Shri was reading earlier on the calendar, that second harmonic is coming in this Friday. And this is why I'm calling it the crash landing, because then literally, we're good. Then literally that pyramid you guys see there, we're surfing. You see that? You are surfing, and it's being filled. And it will not seal until September meets that March energy. And the whole thing is flowing. This is why the June amplification is so important, because believe me, you're going to want it.
Yep.
We're going to need that extra amp to make it to the other side.
You know, one of the things that came forward in my awareness as you were sharing about the fear dimension and the planetary thought body, etc.
Yes.
I just want to kind of go back and summarize something here. That we live in a world of energy. Energy plus consciousness is how we create form.
Right?
So energy is primary. Now, energy can be qualified by consciousness. And when I'm saying consciousness, now I'm thinking about emotions.
Yeah.
Because emotion is simply energy in motion.
Yes,
Emotion.
there it is.
And so that's
not being shown.
One of the things I would like to remind you is that the planetary thought body is kind of like that atmosphere where the emotional energies are beginning to unwind, but it doesn't happen instantly. It takes a little time, and it takes further consciousness to unwind something that's been created. So that's one piece to put into your discernment filter. The other piece, and we published a couple of videos on the...
I want to show that.
Okay.
That's really important.
It's in here.
Okay. I didn't see April.
And so here's the thing. The fourth dimension is what is commonly referred to as the astral. So third dimension is the dimension of form. Fifth dimension is the dimension of clarity and compassion. So you look at the difference.
Self-compassion, that's how you hold it.
You look at the difference in frequency, moving out of subject, object, boom, boom, form, into the non-density astral. But the astral is connected to the earth plane.
Yeah.
That's how it exists. It's just a kind of like this is where the ghosts are and the entities and all of these non-corporal energies that some of them are benign and others are less benign, etc., are tracking with the earth. And this is why it's so essential we lift to the fifth dimension, because that frequency now is a gateway to the divine.
Now breathe that in. And I want to bring up the April Ascended Numerology while Shri is sharing this. And it also ties in with a question we got from all of you. This is the April Ascended Numerology, Shri. There you go. All right. And so this is really tying in with what you're sharing, because I want you to go over, look at the body. April's Ascended Numerology is beyond stunning, but at the end of the day, it's a 7, which is all about the whole vision experience. This is not just about your 6th chakra or your 7th chakra. It's that entire area. And so April is about steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust, holding the vision. And here's what's so profound about that. If you look at the numerology and stay with the physical body, and we had a question come in about the number 13, so we can handle both of that right now. And that is that when you gaze at the number 7, notice that when we add to April, so April is always going to be about this energy of the vision, right? And the higher consciousness that we can carry collectively. But it actually is about the vision of balance. So you see right there, number 6, this entire year, 2nd chakra, this entire year is about humanity finding its balance through the question of, can we survive dogma? And then when you put the two together, they become the 4 plus the infinite as the 13 plus the 0. And this is why we got a question from Laura saying, what makes that, so, what's going on with the 13? And I'm like, well, we just got to answer it with the numerology today, because it's just so potent in April, especially. So April 4, April 2022 is actually about our root. It is about our foundation as a being. It is about who you are in form. And it is about the experience of that. Remember, it's an experience month. And so the totality of the wheel is the 13. So if you look to the left, and I did this in color because I think it makes it a lot easier to see how it turns, right? If you look at the wheel is the 12 plus the infinite, which is that 13th integer. And so the Ascended Numerology for April is the totality of all that I am, which means that by the end of this month, we're in a new world. This is an experience month which will force the choice of May. May is choice, and the blessing of the choice is it's always the up level, and it's a retrograde choice. 13 is the ancient system of all that has ever been. In the essence of Ascended Numerology, which is the original sequential system of getting our sacred sequence of incarnation, because all numerology is really only meant to be about the sacred sequence of incarnation to guide you so that those who are, when you are born, those who have the honor of raising you, were offered the sacred scrolls of your mastery journey. Because it is those in form whose energy field is receptive to your journey that receive your field based upon the sacred sequence of incarnation, which is in the totality of the 13. This is why, and it's also very feminine. The 1 plus the 3 is the 4. It is the cross of perfect balance. It is the invitation to the still center, because only through the remembrance of our eternal nature does the void emerge. And this is why 13 has had lots of other incredible things leaped upon it out of dogmatic traditions, because if you remember the totality and the limitless nature of that which you are, why would you need to have all of your thoughts governed, ruled, and controlled by those who have dogma and need your power to keep their own? And that's the gift of neutrality. The remembrance that right now, in this moment, we are, as I am, here as the sea of neutrality. In the sea of neutrality, you go beyond the planetary fear because you lift from the 5th into the 7th. The 5th dimension has been very much corrupted by, I'm going to use the word the New Age mainstream, and forgive me, but this week Shri and I saw it is pay for play, guys. We had someone look us in the eye, I kid you not, yesterday and say, oh my God, I love what you do. I love what you do. They have no idea what we do. But they're very well known and very famous and have a huge community. And they said, I want to do everything. I want to support you. So we just need $250,000. And this person just gave us $250,000. And then what we can do, right? So I once again smile at my own naivety, that just because the name of this group is so powerfully recognized as that, the one thing Shri and I had noticed is, why are they always promoting the same people? Why are they always giving you the same old spiel that you've been getting for the past 30 years? Humanity is not what we were even 5 years ago. Yeah. We are at a moment where the law of instantaneous manifestation is the way forward. And this is why on April 27, together with Chief Phil, we are going to be offering this free to the world. Get there. And if you're really committed, then register for all of it right now. It's a donation. It goes to what we're showing you, right? We're doing all of this because learning how to harvest that is what pulled Shri and I out of our knowing. We were very clear we were not to interface this way this year, but this program must be brought forward now because the balance is ready to be restored, and your abundance is assured.
Absolutely. You know, and I want to speak to that.
Please.
And one more thing about the dogma. So let's take a breath together. Beliefs are how we structure our experiences to conform to a sense of safety.
Yep.
So take that in for a second. What we believe determines how we receive experience. And that can be really useful in terms of training wheels on how to get along with everybody and how to navigate this world. However, I trust that each person viewing this is on a path that we refer to as the path of self-ascension, which is a restoration of your divine mastery presence while still...
It is a yoga.
It is
the
indeed.
Yoga of Self-Ascension is beyond anything other than the remembrance of that which you are through trusting you.
as Archangel Zadkiel has said, and many of the great yogis also have said, the state of enlightened presence is beyond the beliefs. It is beyond the dogma.
It's true.
It is the exquisiteness of the now, unfiltered by those impositions that were created as conventions for social interaction. So ultimately, we're all on a mystical path, are we not? To directly experience the divine and to be in that communion and that joy. So belief systems are one way we organize reality. Dogmas are a way we tell other people how to organize their reality as well. Their beliefs and dogmas are certainly handshaking.
And you know, one thing I would strongly encourage is if you have a copy of our book, 2013 Mayan Sunrise, go back and reread the chapter, You Are the New Priest. We put this book out in 2010, and I swear we wrote it for today.
Yeah.
Go back and read that chapter. If you don't have a copy of 2013 Mayan Sunrise, sadly, I cannot get you one, but our publisher still has it at Kindle if you want to check it out. It is a really important book. And Sri, I love that you're bringing this up.
And so here's where it all ties in. I want to just keep, because our brains are both helpers and they get in the way. Mm-hmm. So from the helper side of things, when the brain says, oh, I get it, I sign it, I get the connection, it relaxes and it allows you to have the spiritual evolution.
Exactly.
But if the brain doesn't understand where you're going, it inhibits your growth.
And it must. Right? Remember that the brain, this experience here it must be self-preserving. It must be. And this is why the rescue energy is so profound right now, because victim, rescuer, abuser.
Yes.
In a world of dogmatic traditions that are based upon a savior mentality, this is why that co-creative power and all this energy and momentum right now, this is why everything, the all. And so to lift into that seventh dimensional presence outside of the fear body and to do it in April, when we are in the totality, try on you. A lot of people come to Toasted Blue Mountain just to spend a couple weeks actually just being themselves.
Yeah.
Come be in fresh air and
anchor
the
a deeper
support,
authenticity.
Right?
Yeah.
Try on you, because April is the month that the true you will have all the support it needs. So be you. Let you flourish. You deserve it.
And so the gateway to allowing the law of instantaneous manifestation to demonstrate the truth in your life experience is we must be willing to expand ourselves into the flow that is the infinitely compassionate spiritual ocean of energy. So consider this process we're in.
And this happens through consciousness.
Exactly.
Right?
So we start off as little babies and we're going, oh my goodness, what's this body? And then we're told how to conform and behave, and we grow through all of these evolutionary processes. And so what happens is, as we are able to grow through, and I want you to look at the bottom of the screen of what we would refer to as negative energies.
Well, and I'm looking at that fear we talked about. Look where that fear body takes you all the way down.
So human beings are kind of elastic. You can experience all of these things, right? But what do you organize your reality around? That's really the magic question.
And again, I want to just, for those of you that are not aware, on the left side here is the Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening, the energy of the Yoga of Self-Ascension and how it lifts you through. And then this is superimposed upon the original David Hawkins and Shree's work in consciousness as well that we have been doing over the past 20 years.
And so one of the keys here, in order for the law of instantaneous manifestation to become a real nourishing gift in your life,
exactly,
in a uplifting manner, it means that we are committed to trust.
Yes.
Trust is the antidote to all of those coarser emotions such as anger, guilt, judgment, fear, and all that jazz,
all
right?
that jazz.
Okay, we can have a pulse in our emotional body of fear, an alarm signal. Now, what you do with that is the divine choice before you.
Yes.
You can breathe in and went, oh, that was a moment, and then come back to your center. Or you can breathe in and go, oh, I'm going to go react, right? And then it gets wound up into kind of this Velcro experience that we've all had. I mean, this is part of being alive. However, as we interject consciousness into our lives, we begin to create space in the automatic reactions so that the trust and the guidance can come forward. And it's that space that helps send a signal to the universe that I am in alignment with my spiritual mission for taking form, as opposed to being in alignment with an egoic mission that has other agendas. Now, everything is choice. All is permitted. All is allowed. However, the instantaneous manifestation supports and nourishes your spiritual mission, which is always one of expanding love and being in service to the greater expansion. It seems to be the very nature of our universe.
And let's remember that we are in the active up level of the cycle of ascended consciousness. It all begins with our awareness, and through that we have greater experience. That brings us once again to the choice, where we cycle again into a new awareness. And forgive us, we thought we had no things, and they just came in. And so as we're wrapping up, let's read some of these amazing sharing, Shri, because you are the cycle of ascended consciousness. You are that. This community is the blessing of all that has ever been. And make sure you get to ShriandKara.com and stay in touch with everything, including registering for the 27th and getting on board with Monday Magic.
So there are people sharing how 13 is special to them. And one of the things, Rachel shares, emotions do take time to discern through to the thank you and the reminder, because every experience is an opportunity to breathe and center into your capacity to choose.
I also want to share, someone asked if it was true that there's a big energy portal coming up on the 12th. What is true is that there is a huge energy this entire month. And yes, there are portals opening all the time. However, to remain in ascended consciousness is to let go of the linear. Even everything we share with you is only constructed of this one linear potentiality. So to be aware of it without having to dive in, worry, or feel like you have to be a part of everything allows the consciousness to keep transcending. That's what trying on you, that's what the Yoga of Self-Ascension is all about. At the end of the day, it is, I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me. I am here as the sea of neutrality in the absolute knowing that all deserve.
Yes.
All deserve to be. We do not have to agree. However, as Archangel Zadkiel has always shared, and we so beautifully adhere, if there is one sin, to use the word of this world, it would be to interfere with the path of another or to allow another to interfere with your path. It is through the compassion of the self that we lift into the fifth dimension. Yes. And through the gift of letting go of the preoccupation with the one and igniting our greater compassion for all, we stand from the fifth firmly in the knowing, I am here, ready to serve. And so we are here ready to serve you every Sunday. Make a note, be here, be part of this amazing community, and get to ShriandKara.com. Please help us. And while you're doing it, have some fun and up level with the rest of us.
Because each and every moment is a moment where we can intersect consciousness into the flow,
yes,
thereby bringing light into the flow. Consider that for a moment. Consciousness is light.
Mm-hmm.
And so, beloved ones, it's been a delight to be with you today. Thank you for working with our various little techno stuff that we had going on earlier in this presentation. Seems to me that our lives are continually blessed with fresh energies, fresh opportunities, and the opportunity to continue to say yes.
And thank you for being the miracle maker for so many. May the law of instantaneous manifestation brace you with all that you are gazing